That's a humble brag, right? I mean, it's, I've never heard a CEO go, I run a fat marketing team, right? I mean, it's like...
Hello and welcome to the Rose and Rockstar from the Rockstar CMO effing marketing podcast and the Marketing Podcast Network. I'm your host, Ian Truscott. I'm not a rockstar, but I am a CMO and managing partner at Velocity B. It's a sweltering Sunday, the 13th of July here at Rockstar CMO Towers. Thanks for bearing with me while I took a break last week, but we are back. And in a moment, I'll join my chum and Chief Troublemaker at Seventh Bear, Robert Rose, in our virtual bar, the Rose and Rockstar, for a chat that was recorded for the 4th of July holiday. And what better way to celebrate a holiday than picking his brains on budgeting? If you like our little chat, why not come say hello? You can find links to me and Robert and all the things we discuss at rockstarcmo.com. But first, we need to pay the bar tab. I'll be back in a moment.
We'll be right back.
Are you tired of juggling multiple software tools to manage your agency? Say hello to Deltek Workbook, the ultimate solution for marketing and communication agencies. With Workbook, you can streamline your projects, resources, and finances all in one place. Imagine real-time dashboards and reports giving you full visibility into your projects, people, and financials. Plan your team's capacity weeks in advance to avoid bottlenecks while staying on budget to maximize project margins. Plus, Workbook works perfectly for both agencies and in-house marketing teams looking to boost efficiency and profitability. And here's the best part. At PCI, we're a certified Deltek partner and reseller offering expert implementation, integrations, and ongoing support to ensure your success. Want to see how Deltek Workbook can transform your operations? For a free consultation, visit pci.us/podcast today. That's pci.us/podcast.
When it comes to relevant content, you may have heard Jeff and me talk about the multis on this show. Multi-channel, multi-device, multi-persona, and multi-language. On that last one, let me ask, how confident are you that your content actually connects in every market? You're not sure? Well, it might be time to check out Phrase. In our experience, this stuff used to be hard, but Phrase makes it simple with its industry-leading AI localization platform that helps you deliver content in multiple languages without losing your tone, your message, or your mind. It automates the manual work, slashes review time, and gives you real data on what's working and where. Brands like Uber and Zendesk trust Phrase to scale their content across the globe and get it right every time. If you're serious about reaching more people and driving better results internationally, head over to phrase.com/MPN and take a look. That's phrase.com/MPN.
Hello, my friend, and welcome to the bar.
Thank you very much, mate. And how are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's a very weird time here because we are celebrating our country's independence from your country. And at the same time, we're feeling not quite independent. We're feeling like we're a bit under the rule and the thumb of a king. So it's kind of a weird Independence Day, I got to say. But yeah, so in celebration of that,
yes,
I figured we'd go with a French cocktail. For those of you who are students of history might appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yes, we have what we're calling in the cocktail. It is called a French 75. It is a lovely summer drink, and it's basically a bubbly drink. So, and you'll appreciate this. We start with gin. And we we have gin and lemon juice and champagne of all things. Ooh. So we put in our champagne, we put in our little bit of gin and a little bit of lemon juice, and you can of course garnish with a little more lemon if you like to. But it's a lovely summer drink, and gin and champagne very surprisingly go very well.
Wow, I've never tried gin and champagne, but yes, that does sound good. And I think it's interesting that it's called the French 75, where I think gin is a British drink.
Yes.
But they bring the champagne, so
there's all sorts of French jokes to make right now, but we shan't. We shan't. You know,
Fantastic.
something about them giving up or surrendering, or I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah. Let's try and keep some friends.
Exactly.
So this week, mate, what's preying on my mind is, I'm sure you're going to bring some lovely life to this, but it's a bit of a dull topic, even if I do say so myself. But me and Jeff have been talking about it in the other show, the other part of the show that we do, or the other episodes of the show that we do, and that we've been talking about budgeting. And what I wanted to do while I have you in the bar is, I want to understand. I want to get a sense of like what you're seeing in the real world with your clients. You know. How people are calculating their marketing budget, which benchmarks folks are using, and what trends you're seeing in terms of what marketers are spending money on. And I know it's the summertime, but we do need to start thinking about our budgets at this time of year, and we've got a bit of time available. So I thought I'd kick that off with you. So if we start off with, where do you stand on how to calculate the marketing budget?
Yeah, well, there's sort of standard ways, right? And I find that of all, so you have, sort of what's called the industry average standard of budgeting, which is basically you look at your industry average as usually as a percentage of revenue, and you sort of set budget against that in that way. You can see the more top-down budgeting, which is, okay, the senior leadership has always recognized that it's going to be this level of budgeting given the whatever our revenue was in the previous quarter, right? So we usually, that's one of the most common ways, by the way, is to sort of look at what we did in the past and then associate future budget based on that, which is, when you say it out loud, you go, well, that's the most ridiculous thing ever, but it is one of the most popular ways of doing it. And then, of course, there's the wallet, which is, the method, which is basically, hey, let's look at, what we have and how do we, how can we spend it? And then finally, there's typically the, sort of the objective task method of it, which is like, okay, what are we trying to do? And what would it take to do that? And then basically build the budget off of that. That's honestly I see that the least. It's clearly at the, if you just look at them all sort of in black and white, you go, well, that's the obvious one, right? That's the one that you should be doing, is like set your goals, look at what it would take to achieve those goals, and then come up with a budget, what it would take to achieve those goals. And that should be your marketing budget for the coming quarter or the coming year or the coming 5 years or whatever it is you're setting it for. But it's very rare, very rare. Mostly what I see businesses doing these days is looking in the rearview mirror and going, well, we closed this much sales revenue, therefore, and our goals are to increase sales by X percentage this next quarter, this next year. Therefore, we're taking the percentage of budget we had last quarter and we're either keeping it the same, and you're going to do more with less, or we're going to up it by the percentage we want to have growth. And all of that, which isn't very effective, but it is very common because it's easy.
Yeah. But the interesting, the easy one is the benchmark, isn't it? Where everybody else in my market does 8%, but the trouble, the thing with that one is it's an easier conversation to have, because as a marketer it's defendable, because you can go, hey, there's a Gartner report that says it should be 8% or whatever. And then you can negotiate up and down from that. But the problem is as soon as you say 1% of revenue, don't you think you're sort of giving off this vibe of it's a tax, which is the very worst thing we want from marketing budget?
Well, that's exactly, you've nailed it, right? Which is basically the problem with looking at the industry average is you're suggesting it's exactly that, right? The inherent argument is everybody is spending X, therefore we should spend X. And so the pushback that I often see, and it's a good pushback from the CFO or the CEO, is if everybody, it's the classic, when your mom told you, like, well, if everybody jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge, right? So, and so the question is, what you're assuming is that they're smart, right? And that they that they haven't just sort of looked around the room and went, well, what they're doing, it's that classic meme, the Spider-Man meme where everybody's pointing at each other. It's like, this is how we're setting our marketing budget, is everybody's looking at each other and setting it. And, and so it's not a very effective way of on setting it. It can be one data point, but I certainly wouldn't set the budget from that. But but you're right. It's very common.
Yeah. So the three primary ones that you met, I think it was three that you identified, was this percentage model benchmarked against the rest of your category or industry. The other one was that we actually set goals and we define what our budget is, and we do that. Have you ever experienced that where you just sit in there like completely independent of any kind of assumptions or like, no, it has to be 5 million or whatever. It's like, this is what we want to achieve, and then going through that process and working out how much that's going to cost, because that would be fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I've been very lucky in a few instances to have that be the case. You know, it's not a dissimilar way of the way that I like to set marketing strategy, full stop, right?
Yeah.
Which is to say, I recognize that there's two things at play with, I don't care if you're a Fortune 100 company or a 3-person startup. There are two things at play when it comes to marketing budgets and strategy, which is one, what's pragmatic? In other words, what can we really do, right? You know, and two, and this is the most uncommon one that I've explored, what do we want to do? In other words, and so, in other words, you can have an agency or a consulting firm or somebody come in and help you develop the optimal marketing strategy or the optimal marketing budget. And then basically what you typically see is that those people then try and live up to that budget, live up to that strategy rather than living with it.
Yeah.
In other words, the CEO, you know, the optimal strategy for marketing is that the CEO is going to start blogging and doing videos and doing all these things. But guess what? The CEO doesn't want to do that. And the CEO is not going to do that if they don't want to do that. And so therefore, your strategy fails before it's even begun. Yeah. And so what I like to do, and this applies to both budget and marketing strategy, full stop planning, is to say, let's develop the right strategy, the optimal strategy. Then let's take another pass at it and go, okay, but how pragmatic? You know, we don't have that much money in the bank. We don't want to risk that much money in the budget that it's going to take to actually achieve that. Fantastic. Yeah. Let's be pragmatic about it and pull back from that strategy and basically say, okay, let's pull back from that to say what we can, how much money do we have in our pockets? And then, so you pull that, then you pull it back one more. You go, okay, now what do we want to do? Like, what are our priorities? Like, what do we really want out of this? Yeah. So if you go through that exercise and sort of look at your strategy and your budget 3 times, then you get to something that you not only can do, that you want to do. And then that's basically how you set your marketing budget.
Yeah. Yeah. I when I've had budget I've had various budget discussions over the years, but one of the ways that I often view it is like, most of the time with us marketers, we're looking for more budget or we're defending budget or all that. There's that sort of defensive move going on. But I think what you should be managing is expectations, which is, okay, you've got $7.50. Well, what we can achieve with that is going to be this.
Well, that's exactly right.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
that's right. If you're and if you're setting those two things in conjunction with one another, those implications become clearer, right? So it's like, the optimal strategy, if it works, should deliver X. The pragmatic strategy should deliver Y, and the what we want to do strategy delivers Z. But again, none of those X, Y, or Z is not guaranteed, right? It's marketing after all. And tons of risk built into each of these plans. And so all we can do is forecast the weather. And we may get caught with a surprise rainstorm, or we may get caught with a surprise, rainbows and unicorns, right? You never know. But this is what we're forecasting, and it is exactly that. It's forecasting based on what we can understand today.
Yeah. And that would drag us into the topic of attribution if we're not careful. So I'm going to skip lightly over the top of that. Well, I was having a conversation with a CMO the other day, and they said they use the term, we run a lean team, right? So is that the sort of language you're hearing as well? Is that I'm really hoping, well, I actually seen there is a book called Lean Marketing, and no, I've not read it, no disrespect to it, but I've got a bit of a phobia to words that are put in front of the word marketing, apart from content marketing. Are you seeing that kind of trend with your clients, that there's this sort of desire to be lean?
Well, that's a humble brag, right? I mean, it's, I've never heard a CEO go, I run a fat marketing team, right? I mean, it's like, it's like, I just don't understand the need for the adjective, right? I just don't, it's like, it's not as though marketing, generally speaking, is known as the department that has more money than it knows what to do with, right?
Yes.
And so, when we run a lean team, it's like, okay, I get the attitude. I get where you're not. Now I understand where marketing sits in your order of priority.
Yeah.
And what it tells me is, one of my favorite things to ask a CEO about marketing's strategic seat at the table when it comes to investment is I'll ask a CEO or a CMO, like, when was the last time a non-marketing business decision was made from an insight you got from marketing? And what I mean there is a latest acquisition or a new area, a region you wanted to go after, or a new product development, or something that is non-marketing related that came from a marketing insight. And if the answer is I don't know or never, then I know exactly that the next words out of their mouth are going to go, we run a lean marketing team, right? And so, if they don't view marketing as a strategic investment that gets wiser over time and that you invest in some of that long-term value, like making sure that there's new roof and new electrical and new plumbing in there that doesn't necessarily seem lean at the time, then I know exactly what I need to know about the way that marketing is seen in that organization.
I love that. And also, you now know that marketing team is like short order cooks, right? They do what they're told. They're not asked.
That's exactly right. It's an on-demand vending machine, and it's just as fast as we can make the drive-through go. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I know that today you've got to get going, and you've got your July 4th things to celebrate. Probably put on your
Independence Day
hat,
fireworks,
fireworks or something. So I better let you get on and get out of this bar. And if people are looking for well-costed marketing advice,
just don't struggle with this. Just go to the website. It's seventhbear.com. You're really just struggling with that. There you go. Yeah. And I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, and you can find me there.
You're just stealing everything now. And most importantly, mate, because I know you got to run, will you be in the bar next week?
I will indeed.
I'll see you then, man.
All right.
Thank you, Robert. Maybe not quite as dull a topic as I threatened it would be, as budget is definitely the lifeblood of marketing in this era of pay-to-play for just about everything, with the drop in organic traffic, the current search experience, and the demise of organic social reach. So, it's an important topic that I'm guessing we're probably going to come back to. So that's a wrap on our visit to the Rose and Rockstar. Thank you for joining us. You can find links to Robert's podcast and his work at Seventh Bear, and all my links in the show notes at rockstarcmo.com. We can also find links to our newsletter, blog, previous episodes, and all the things. Our normal schedule will resume this week on Rockstar CMO FM. Jeff is back on Wednesday, and I'll be in the bar with Robert on Saturday. In the meantime, just remember, as Eugene said in the School of Rock, you can't just say it, man. You've got to feel it in your blood and guts if you want to rock.
You may know you're listening to this show along the Marketing Podcast Network, but did you know there are other great shows on MPN to help your business? Hennika Watkins-Porter hosts The Entrepreneurial You, empowering entrepreneurs with insights on leadership, business, and success. Hennika, tell listeners what to expect from your show.
So we provide innovative business strategies and practical solutions to common entrepreneurial challenges.
And where can people subscribe?
Find us at hennikawatkinsporter.com, as well as the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcasts.net, or search for it wherever you get your podcasts.
You heard her. Go subscribe. This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.